They say a picture is worth 1,000 words, and every time I hear that saying, my first thought is, who is they? And also, if a picture is worth 1,000 words, I don't want to see 1,000 words. I'm a busy man. I don't have time to look at something with my eyes and then get force-fed 1,000 words. I mean, who would do that? Why would you want to do that? It sounds terrible. It's an awful saying, put it in the bin. But when it does come to pro wrestling, there are a bunch of images you can hunt down on that there old internet machine and actually be quite flabbergasted by what they're showing, especially when somebody drips context into your face. And that sounded awful, that sounded dodgy, but that's what we're going to do here today on WhatCulture Wrestling. So my name is Simon Miller, you are the WhatCulture viewer, and this is 10 wrestling photos you won't believe. Number 10, Brock Lesnar's date with Destiny. Now I would do a little guessing game here and let you try and figure out who this was, but I just gave it away in the list because I said number 10 and I mentioned Brock Lesnar's name. But look at him. Look how cute he is, little Brock Lesnar. He's not all big and scary. He's just a little boy you want to go up to and pat on the head and give him some sweets and be like, oh, Brock, you're so amazing. You've got a great future ahead of you. Aren't you excited? Yes, you are. And then you get his cheek and you give it a little scamp pull. I know what that is. I don't deal with kids, but I see people doing that to kids all the time. Parents, they love it. So why can't someone do it to Brock Lesnar? Anyway, this particular photo was indeed taken on the 24th of March, 1991. And I don't know what Lesnar's doing here. Maybe he's about to go to a wrestling match. Maybe he's got in trouble with the police, which is why he looks so scared. For the record, I made that up. That's definitely not true. But it's far more interesting when you think of the date I just mentioned and apply that to pro wrestling. Why? Because on that day, The Undertaker started his WrestleMania streak against Jimmy Snuka. And you know what happened 23 years later? That's right, he lost said streak to the one and only Brock Lesnar. You think little Brock knows that here? Of course he doesn't. Do you think he knows he's about to wind up millions and millions of fans when he gets to WrestleMania 30? He doesn't even know he's going to be a sports entertainer at this stage, and yet look what history has done. Isn't that fascinating? I think so. What a crazy universe. Number 9, Andre the Giant's giant hand. Andre the Giant was a big man. You don't need me telling that to you. His name was Andre the Giant, and you don't need a particular image either. Just go look at any image of Andre the Giant or go watch any bit of footage with him, and you can deduce pretty quickly, boy howdy, that dude is mammoth. However, if you'd like some context, I present you with this, and at first glance, you may think it's just Andre holding one of those small 150 milliliter cans and having a big laugh with us, but it's not. That is in fact the Giant holding a regular beer can, and look how tiny it looks in his hand because his hand is bigger than most people's faces. You also get a good comparison here because the person across from him, and I don't know who that is holding a glass, and that looks perfectly ordinary, but again, Andre the Giant, big dude to the point that normal sized cans look like they were made for babies. Number 8, Owen Hart's world title win. There's plenty of wrestlers we could talk about when it comes to those that should have won the WWE world title throughout their careers, but maybe Owen Hart is the top of that list. I mean, not only did he have a great character, not only did he cut great promos, but in terms of his in-ring, in many ways, he was the person that inspired a lot of the stuff we see today, because he was high-flying, he was agile, but he still had the basics down. If he never was world champion though, where does this particular picture come from that was taken in Wembley in September 1994? Well, it's actually nice and simple. During this UK tour, Owen did indeed team with Jim Neidhart, and they were taking on the tag team of Bret Hart and the British Bulldog. And at this time, Bret Hart was the world heavyweight champion. So you have to assume at one stage, Owen saw that belt, he went over to it, he picked it up, and some smart guy went ka-ching, took that picture, and now we have this forevermore. Now, given everything that was going to happen a few years later, it makes it even more poignant, but again, huge mistake there, WWE. The King of Hearts should have become the man. Number 7, Ted DiBiase's Chris Benoit. Following on from his early days in ECW and after sorting out some work visa issues, Chris Benoit actually headed to the WWF for a while in the mid-90s to have some tryout matches, and he had those matches against the likes of Bob Holly, against the likes of Owen Hart, and against the likes of Adam Bomb. But a little secret here, because no one's listening, I quite liked Adam Bomb. I was just a stupid kid. What absolutely makes no sense though is that during these bouts, somebody backstage in the WWE or then WWF thought, well, Chris Benoit, he could be an honorary member of the $1 Million Man stable. So every time he came to the ring, Ted DiBiase was with him. Why that happened, I have absolutely no idea, but clearly it didn't work because WWE officials decided, Benoit ain't good enough for us. We're gonna go with the likes of Mantar instead. Really, you can't argue with that. Mantar, he was a classic. He was wonderful. Can we get a picture of Mantar somewhere on the screen? That may not happen, I don't know. I'm just talking right now. But look, Mantar, Chris Benoit, Mantar. Number 6, Bill and Barry. If you're a relatively new fan to WWE, you may have no idea who Demolition are, and really, that's not your fault, mostly because Bill and Barry, the pair that made up this team, decided to add their names to a very long list in a concussion lawsuit against the WWE that was recently thrown out. So basically, they're in the company's bad books, and they may not change for some time. So just as it is a little bit odd for them just to be erased from the record books for people like me that remember them, so is this image of them without their face paint on in the early 90s, just before WrestleMania 4. As a youngster, I had no idea what they looked like without all this stuff on the face, and obviously the internet didn't exist then, so I didn't know anyway, but now looking back, I'm transported back to my youth, and I'm like, who are these crazy cats? They're not Demolition. Demolition look cool, and that's just two dudes. Of course, the best thing about this photo is eventually one of them is gonna go on to become Repo Man, and just as a little game, I'll try and let you figure out which one it is, but never forget that Repo Man is the greatest gimmick of all time. Number 5, the Upright Kid. What the hell is going on with Shawn Michaels here? Either Sid Justice has taken the man and actually forced his body to stand in an upright position, or he's had some kind of accident that has left his body without the ability to move. I mean, when you look at it like this, it makes absolutely no sense. But that's why I'm here, to break down all the nonsense around these things and let you know it's just Shawn Michaels being Shawn Michaels, is the Heartbreak Kid being the Heartbreak Kid, because this is him selling a big boot from Big Sid Justice. That's what he did. That's what the man did, and you wonder why many people call him the best of all time. When you're selling moves like this, you're gonna fly to the top. Number 4, from Shimmer to Stardom. Take your time, have a quick look at this image from Shimmer in 2012 and play a kind of Where's Wally game, or in this case, how many wrestlers do you recognize? And a little spoiler, a few of them went on to WWE. Because in this image is Paige, is Bayley, is Asuka, is Ember Moon, and is Billie Kay. If you get really eagle-eyed with it, you'll also see Sarah Amato, who is currently absolutely smashing it down in NXT, where she focuses on the women. So basically, without this group of people here, maybe the women's revolution, evolution, whatever they're calling it now, would never have happened. But that is some damn talent being thrown up here on WhatCulture Wrestling. It was only like, what, 6 years ago? Think how far we've come. Number 3, the Swiss Super Mini. At first glance, you may not even realize this is Cesaro, because he's changed his appearance quite a lot since he arrived in the WWE. But yes, it is the Swiss Superman. And he looks really pissed off. He looks really angry about something. He looks like he's gonna find you and rip your head off and take those glasses and smash them into your face. But just to keep things nice and simple, as I have been doing throughout this video, it's just Cesaro having some fun. He's in one of those coin-operated cars you sometimes find outside supermarkets or local shops, and he's just having a good time. Maybe this is how he unwinds after one of his phenomenal wrestling matches. He takes a pound or a quarter, he pops it in and he goes like, oh, I'm driving a real car. Which is a bit weird, Cesaro, because I'm guessing as a wrestler and as an adult, you can drive an actual automobile. Go and do that. Look, each to their own. You do what you want to do, but you don't need to do this anymore. You've got real car, real man, real strong. Number 2, Arnold Von Erich. Well, who knew? On the one side here, we have Arnold Schwarzenegger. On the other, we've got Kerry Von Erich. And no joke, seriously, these two could actually be brothers. And also, they were two of my heroes when I was a kid. So seeing this picture, it warms my heart, it makes me smile, it makes me think that everything's gonna be all right with the world. Until I think of the future, then I get sad. Happening at some point during the mid-80s, when I would guess Kerry Von Erich was at the height of his fame, and Arnold Schwarzenegger was just really finding his. They probably met up, one probably liked wrestling, the other probably liked movies, and I bet they had a good old time. They probably went to the gym, they probably went and had a coffee, they probably had a lovely chat, and inspired, just the world for each of them. Like, you do this, I'll do that, and they went, I will. And it kind of happened. Also, look at those fabulous haircuts. Do you know how envious I am of that? I'd love a haircut like that. It's all long and flowing. What screw job that was. Where's my damn hair? Number 1, the Moolah scale. If you're a fan of the WWE, you probably remember the fabulous Moolah most for all her weird and crazy antics alongside Mae Young. They ran around, they got put through tables, and at one point during the Attitude Era, Moolah was actually the women's champion, even though she was like 68 years old. I won't go as far to say they were comedy figures, but they were light entertainment. But here, look at the fabulous Moolah. She is pissed off, she is mad. This is wrestler Moolah. With her bloody face, you could almost believe it's not the same person. I don't know what happened before, and I sure as hell don't know what happened afterwards, but I always like a comparison shot. And if you go to Google right now and look at the fabulous Moolah from her late 90s WWE days, once again, I think you'll be kind of surprised, and maybe you won't even believe it. Now, don't forget to leave a comment below and let us know what you think about all these pictures. Like, share, and subscribe. Head on over to WhatCulture.com and read yourself some articles, and follow WhatCulture on Twitter. WhatCulture WWE. My name is Simon from WhatCulture. Thank you for watching, and I'm gonna see ya again soon.